Right, so welcome. I'm Jo Gray, the Chief Exec of AMEND, which has another long name, but we won't go into that right now, because what we want to do is we want to have a chat here with Alex Shanks, who has very recently cycled 1,000 miles in aid of AMEND, which blows my mind somewhat. And also here on the line is Jane Clark, who is an AMEND member who has MEN1. You may have seen a video featuring one of Jane's lovely daughters, Claudia. We did that some years ago. It's on our website. She's talking about surgery as an adolescent, and also her other daughter, Cecile, who did a little bit of social media content for us. And she's also known as Little Miss Social Media on TikTok. So we're following her very closely as well. So, but we'll start with Alex today. So, I mean, fantastic effort, Alex. Honestly, I find it very hard to comprehend cycling a mile, never mind 1,000 miles. So, how on earth did you prepare for such an enormous challenge?
So the psychological barrier I'd passed on previous trips. So previously, before I got into longer distance cycling, the idea of doing, say, 100 miles a day seemed ludicrous. But having done that several times, it becomes less of a less daunting. The big thing for this was it was by far the most days I've done consecutively, because it was 13 days cycling. But the preparation was kind of getting that psychological barrier out of the way. So that was getting days in that were at least as long and as steep as the longest days I had on the trip, just to make sure I felt good doing it. And generally speaking, the trip itself, I only ever thought about 20 to 25 miles ahead. I never once thought, oh God, I've got 7 days left and 670 miles. Never occurred to me. Each day was just sort of, right, 20, 25 miles, I need to get to X, and I can stop, and I can get something to eat, and I can restock my water and whatever else. So, and then to the accommodation and so on. So that, to be honest, the end kind of snuck up on me, because I really enjoyed it. And all of a sudden it was kind of, as it was getting closer, it was sort of, oh, that's a shame, we're almost at an end. So it was, so no, breaking it down into those little chunks made it far more accessible.
That's actually probably quite a good lesson for just life in general, or dealing with something like an MEN syndrome or anything like that. Actually, just not going too far ahead and enjoying the moment, really, I suppose. Yeah. I mean, that's fantastic. But now I'm a bit of a southern softie, so to me, Land's End to John O'Groats sounds quite uphill. So was it?
Not especially. There was plenty of steep bits, but it was more Jane's neck of the woods that had the steep bits. But no, the reason for doing it that way is the prevailing winds. So I only had one afternoon where I had the wind strong against me. Most of the rest of the time it was behind me. So it was that made life infinitely easier, because that is by far the most frustrating part, is if you're fighting against the wind more than any other conditions. For me,
I never thought that you'd have to look into the preparation so keenly that you'd have to think of, but I guess if you're an experienced cyclist anyway, maybe that's something that you consider quite often when you're embarking on something long.
Yeah, and there's lots of resources online. I mean, one of the things that surprised me, actually, despite having thought about doing the trip before, what was surprising when I was preparing was that there isn't a defined route. So there isn't kind of, like North Coast 500, for example, we have up here. We just can follow the route, the wayfinder. You make it as you please. So that was obviously great for stopping in at the cottages.com properties, but also meant that I could actually go and see a few extra things and stay a lot on cycle paths and things. So there's a lot of preparation in that respect, but it was reading other people's experience that very quickly it sort of gave me the reference point to go that direction.
Yeah. Oh, right. So it's not, It's not too uphill then. That's good. That's good to know.
No,
Help
overall.
from the wind. Yeah. So when you say, I mean, I think we frequently said, may the wind be behind you. And
Yeah,
clearly that is actually a thing for that right there.
exactly. Yeah, and it worked. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. That really is good. So, yeah, I mean, you mentioned the cottages.com cottages. So, I mean, you weren't camping every night here, were you? Because you work for a company that looks after some rental cottages along the way. So you stayed in a
Exactly.
few nice little places, did you?
Exactly, and that's how I got to know Jane, with colleagues. And yeah, other trips I've done have been camping, and that would have been very uncomfortable and very stressful. But I got to stay in some phenomenal properties. Some of them had hot tubs, saunas. Sometimes the other BDMs, who in my position, would drop in and get care packages and all sorts. So I was extremely well looked after, and I'd been very careful on when I put on the giving page and things to not say that I was unsupported, because although I did it myself, I didn't have any support vehicles or anyone with me. I was so supported by well wishers, as well as having that accommodation, and many of the owners left food and everything. So, like I said, I was very conscious not to be unsupported, because I really was.
Yeah, yeah. That sounds wonderful. I think it's lovely, isn't it? Sort of human nature shines through when they leave you gifts and packages and support package and what have you. I think that's a really lovely touch. So I'm glad you got that, because yeah, camping is not really for that sort of thing, is it? I mean, much as I love it, but not when
Well,
you're toughing it
I
out
did,
all day.
yeah, I did meet a couple who were camping along the way, but I think my 13 days, I think they'd set out 7 weeks to do it. So it was, so they'll still be at it, remarkably. But it shows just how much more arduous it is when you've got to add everything in and think about cooking yourself and all those things. So,
Yeah, yeah,
like I said, that made it infinitely easier.
yeah, yeah. So when you crossed the finish line, John Groats, what did you feel? How did you feel about completing this enormous challenge and actually getting to the finish line?
I said it was very kind of surreal, because it did feel like it snuck up on me. I did give myself that time of pride. I was happy that I'd done it, but there was also that genuine disappointment that I'd finished, because I'd fallen into such a rhythm, and once you do it for, and it wasn't that long a time, but once you do it for a regular period, you get used to that habit and that process. So getting back into the real world was sort of, as I was seeing the finish line, the cogs started to turn of, all right, okay, now I've got to get back into a world where I'm not just staying in lovely accommodation and cycling every day. So it was a strange mix.
Yeah, yeah, kind of a bump back down to reality almost, I guess, if you've been in your own
Exactly.
mind so long, kind of, yeah, not looking too far ahead. Yeah.
Exactly.
Putting the bicycle away for a bit, were you, or not?
Yeah, it's not been back out yet, but the next challenge is a triathlon, so I've got to get it back out and start getting away again. So
Yeah,
that's this week's plan, is to get back out and get back on it.
fantastic. Fantastic. Good luck with that. Good luck with the weather. It's currently absolutely cats and dogs down here, but hopefully you've got something a bit nicer to go cycling with. So, I mean, honestly, you set a really, really, high bar of raising £5,000, and so far you raised just over £3,000. 60% of that, and obviously we'll be very happy. We'll put a link in the posts and pages and what have you, so that people can contribute. They can still contribute for a little while longer if they want, but I mean, it's a phenomenal amount of money, especially for AMEND is such a tiny charity, really. That it's an enormous contribution, and I mean, I'm very happy to sort of say it's going to be put towards a digital resource for patients with MEN1 like Jane, which means that their membership pack doesn't have to go through the post and then get lost somewhere one day. It's going to be an app on a phone, so that's what the money is going to go towards. And then further down the line, we hope we'll do all of the other diseases as well in the same way. So it's going to be put to very good cause, so that people have information that they can access all the time, even when they're offline. So that's the aim of that. So thank you so much for all your efforts and doing that. And like I say, people can still sponsor Alex now. So yeah. So thank you so much, Alex, for that. And of course, you know. There has to be an inspiration for embarking on something so completely mad, like cycling 1,000 miles. So, Jane, AMEND member, we've met before. We've actually been to the Odeon Cinema in Leicester Square some years ago now as well.
Smiley Awards,
Yes, the Smiley Charity Film Awards. We went there one evening. That was lovely. So how does it feel to be an inspiration?
Oh my gosh. There's no words, is there? It's just, I was so overwhelmed, wasn't I? I told you, Alex, when you emailed me, because you'd asked, obviously I wasn't in work, and Alex had asked my manager for my private email address, and obviously Matt contacted me. I was like, absolutely, but at the point at that time I didn't know like what for. And then Alex sent me this email, you know, this is what I'm doing, and I'd like to do it in honor of you, and what charity would you like to choose? And I was absolutely overwhelmed. I was kind of well now.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, that is such a huge thing. Like, it's probably one of the nicest things anyone's, you know, ever done for me. It's just little. I mean, and then obviously breast cancer care, people might think that should have been my obvious choice, but they get so much funding anyway. They're a huge company, aren't they? And they have all the marketing team, and they get. And there was no doubt in my mind it had to be AMEND, you know, being such a small charity, and you know, small fish in a huge sea. So I think it was just deserving that AMEND go, because you know, AMEND has helped all of us. You know, as you know, I have MEM1. My mum had MEM1. We lost mum to MEM1, and then a few of her siblings died with MEM1. That was many years ago, before advancements were made in medicine. So we've been super lucky now, as our family, as in we know our routine appointments to pick up things early and act on those. And Claudia was only 19 when she had a huge surgery to prevent anything bad happening. So me and my three girls have all got MEM1, and AMEND has been a huge support to us for information, you know, if anything comes up, and just to share information with people who are going through similar things, isn't it? You know, so
and of course part of MEM1, although it's the lesser one, is that a lot of a small number of women with MEM1 will actually develop breast cancer, potentially as part of the syndrome, and then develop it earlier than actually the UK starts screening for it as well in women. So
exactly. And it is something that really I thought about trying to advocate for women with MEM1. I know we have our regular MRIs of our pancreas and our pituitary and parathyroids, but not breast tissue. And I think that should be included in the regular checkups, because we are. But I think I read it was 3 times more likely. And my surgeons have all, you know, agreed with that, because they've met people like that.
I think it's always worth an MEM1 patient asking their endocrine team to sort of, you know, help maneuver that so that it's earlier in life. And I'm sure the centres of expertise understand the reason why for that one. So definitely. So I mean, this is obviously quite recent, and you're actually undergoing active treatment very, very shortly as well. But can you just run through briefly what else MEM1 related issues you've had to deal with?
Oh, how long have you gone? In 2005, I had a full parathyroid removal surgery. Obviously, we get monitored annually with regular screenings, and along the way, different things are being picked up for me. So I had a large ovarian cyst, so an ovary removal many years ago. And then I had benign meningioma, so a brain tumor, was found on a regular screening. So I had a craniotomy in 2020, just before COVID. And then in 2021, I had a distal pancreatectomy because I had pancreatic tumor. I've had many lipomas removed. I've actually got a really large one in my right arm right now that I'm having to have surgery for as well shortly, a 10 centimetre intramuscular lipoma there, which is quite painful, but that's kind of back burner stuff at the minute. And then, of course, more recently, breast cancer diagnosed.
Yeah.
Terms and stuff. So yeah, I mean, my surgeons did say to me, you know, kind of tongue in cheek, he said, Jane, this will, given what everything you've been through, this will be a walk in the park for you in terms of the surgery and the recovery and everything, you know.
Yeah.
So I had a mastectomy with a DF reconstruction, and for anyone who's not familiar with that you basically have the added bonus of a tummy tuck if you've got extra belly fat to spare, which I had in abundance. So, so they basically create a new boob for you out of your belly fat. So I've actually got a new body now, Joe. Every clown.
Well, I mean, that's a small win in amongst all of that then. Yeah, that's a small win, isn't it? Yeah. I remember asking years ago if someone could do something like that, and they didn't. So
I had an incredible team, and like I said, I'm very lucky through cottages.com, my employer, that I have Bupa medical insurance. So that has helped me in abundance, honestly, to get through it, and because my care has been so quick and efficient and all of that. But you know, I want to add, all my other surgeries before were all NHS and all brilliant, you know, with great surgeons and stuff. But I think just on this occasion to get seen quickly was important to me, and it was a bonus. It was a bonus.
yeah.
So, and I just wanted to add as well that why I was kind of overwhelmed by Alex's email was Alex and I had actually only ever met once, hadn't we, prior to this? So we met at January, was the January conference? Yeah. Did you start working? What month did you start in the 2024?
October. So pretty much exactly a year.
Yeah. So what I mean is, by meeting, we meet on Teams like this as a team meeting every week, weekly, but in person, we'd actually only ever met January. So, and he was still quite new to the team, so that's why I was even kind of more overwhelmed by his actions. Yeah, amazing. So I'll be forever grateful.
And that's where it was surprising, because as you mentioned, we speak every week.
Yeah.
And she's extremely good at her job, and that was being constantly brought up and verified, and you know, I admired her greatly. And then it was just one day there was just let everyone know Jane's going to be out for quite some time with, you know, due to breast cancer. And I was really alarmed by how sudden it was, and you know, I immediately just felt so bad, and it stayed for some time, as in, you know, it felt sudden to me. God knows how it felt to you, Jane. So I said it was easy to think that I want to support it when the time came to choose something. So it's
that's wonderful.
And to mention as well, I met Jane along the way, and again, I was so inspired by the fact that you and your daughter were so bubbly and happy and positive. And I can't say that I feel as though I would have that kind of strength. So I was so impressed, and it really gave me a massive boost for the rest of the trip. But I think it was a you know, yes, you've been through so much, and many would take that as a reason to feel like this is yet another, you know, straw on the camel's back. But the fact that you took it as that you were ready for it, you were prepared for it, that you could handle it, I was so impressed. So I don't think anything I've done in the cycle compares at all, and I really mean that.
It's just another bump in the road.
I think it's yeah, no, that's right. And I think it actually, a lot of us do exactly what you were doing on your cycle ride, Alex, which is you just don't look too far down the road. You're don't plan too far ahead. So although I am talking, retirement one day, obviously, so that's a bit but it's sort of you don't look too far down the road with your disease, I don't think so.
No, and you have to trust in the process, and you have to trust in the doctors, the amazing doctors and team that we all have access to in general. So and that's it. It's like, you just go through that. They've said all along it's curable, but who knows, it could come back in the future. Nobody knows that. But the in the medicine, they've made it just incredible. So in the last year, there's been this new medication that is now accessible for women with early breast cancer and stage 4, actually, which is helping to keep it at bay more. So it's actually reduced the risk by twofold. Does that make sense? I don't know how I'm saying that, but half the risk and half again. So so we're very lucky to so I have faith in that, because I've had to join all these clubs that no one wants to be a part of. Breast Cancer Care Now Forum, Macmillan, there's a Facebook forum with this new Strawberry Cyclips. I'm on all of those, but information is power. And to me, I like, the more I know, the more I can cope with it, and I know with it, and I feel positive about it, because
more sense of control. More sense of control.
It is more sense of control for me. I like to be prepared with what's kind of next, if anything. So I expect to potentially be back to work in January, so joining the team again there, and not just Alex, but cottages.com in general, particularly my manager Matt, have all been incredibly supportive. They really, really have. I've been so lucky, because that could have been so different as well. But HR and lovely messages from teams, and I've been so lucky to not have that to worry about in addition.
Fantastic.
It's made a difference.
That's wonderful. Okay, I think you're both inspiring, so thank you so much for that, and thank you very much for joining me today to sort of chat about the scenario, the inspiration and the challenge. And I think it's it really is truly inspiring, both of you. So thank you very much, Jane, for sharing a bit of your story, and good luck with your treatments.
Thanks, Jane.
And hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Yes.
At some point. And Alex, thank you so much for that massive challenge that you completed, and keep on cycling, and hopefully we can stir up a few more sponsors as well. But I mean, what you've done is absolutely phenomenal. So thank you very, very much indeed from all of us at AMEND.
Thank you, Alex.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.